And testing 1, 2, 3. Hey, well, you're here. You've made it. Hurrah! And where is here, you may ask? Good question. This, of course, is a MindGriller server. And I'm Gravity, and this is Cow. And where precisely on the MindGriller server are we, you may also ask? Also a good question. Who's to say? No. It is possible to narrow it down to, well, the nether. And here, within the stinky, sulfuric, gaseous air of the nether, Cow and I are posed upon this little thing. No, I don't want to spoil last week's episode. All will be answered therein. But I do want to say, we cannot stay here all episode. No. We have things to do and places to go. And in so much as I am running low on golden carrots, and I have just 1 week, Cow and I are definitely gonna have to hightail it out of the nether because we are in need of substance. And not the albums entitled Substance, which is the title of either of 2 separate compilation albums, one by Joy Division and the other by New Order. And if I might add here a point of personal privilege, be careful which one you order. Just saying. Now, my plan, such that it is that Cow and I will in a moment momentarily take flight on this humanoid and bovine man bamboo raft down to the immovable blast-proof floor of the nether roof. Unless you know a piston/dynamite secret. What could go wrong? Now, Cow, have you prepared for takeoff? Have you polished your horns? Have you cleaned your nostrils? Have you tickled your udders? No, I'm afraid. And we have liftoff. Woo! Now we made it. Hurrah! Now I half expected to be confronted on the ground by a press conference wherein Katy Perry and Gail confront me about the price of tea in China, which I'm told has absolutely nothing to do with the 28,000 employees laid off collectively by DHL and UPS. Now, causal schmozzle. Now, I would propose here to you that a mere irrelevant factoid is like a missing block on the nether roof. If you don't acknowledge that it's there, and you don't fall into it, then it is though it never was, and all will be fine in the kingdom. I promise. Now, is Mojang still dragging his feet and burying his collective head in the sand in regards to adding ostriches to Minecraft? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, Cow, I believe you are having trouble staying the course, as it were. You appear to be all over the... Hey, look there! There is something in the distance. Now, what the jumping Mahosaphat is that? On the positive side, wandering on a void-filled nether roof with no signs of life is not going to get us any closer to our goal of not starving to death. Now, I believe if push comes to shove, Cow, you will outlive me. Freaking Minecraft hunger saturation mechanics be damned. You, Cow, will think of me kindly, won't you? Now, right back at you, buddy. Now, it appears to me that we have crossed into a new Minecraft nether biome. I believe we were in the warp forest biome, and now we are in the nether waste biome. Now, Cow, I'm not sure this ruddy orange haze is doing much for your previously glistening glossy hide. Now, I hope my mohawk does not get all frizzy and tangled under this ridiculous spacesuit helmet. I don't know how those cosplay astronauts endured 11 whole minutes in those blue jumpsuits. I can tell you the chafing in this spacesuit of mine is getting out of control. That, if I may say, eesh and ouch. Now look here, a complex rail system of inconceivable turns, levers, and powered rails, and who knows where any of this goes. But as the most frequent viewers of this channel will know, and that means both of you, I do enjoy rummaging through the chests and barrels of others. Now, Cow, I see here what appears to be a launchpad circle. This is in fact good news in that it means that I will not be inclined to leave you here whilst I head out to parts unknown in a rickety, broken down old minecart. I recognize it from the Hello Kitty bumper sticker on the bumper. Cow, is Hello Kitty standing on the neck of a befallen ninja? Now, perhaps that is only a knot in the bamboo plank. Or not, who's to say? Now, Cow, let us begin our countdown to liftoff, which I assure you is not an underhanded reference to, quote, the race to space, countdown to liftoff, written by Ben Thompson and Eric Slater. I have no idea. I can't vouch for these guys or their purported work of juvenile nonfiction. Hashtag not sponsored. Now, I will say, though, that this episode is sponsored by the kind people at Reeby's Cookie Cutter Clumps. Reeby's Cookie Cutter Clumps, roundness is overrated. Hey now, Wow, just like our sponsors, hurrah! Hurrah! Now, Cow, if you feel like you're going to overhave, please turn the spigot to the aft of our vehicle. Is there such a sign posted in the New York subway? Well, let's give them a moment. Change does take time after all, or so I've been told. Yeah, well, it's the after all part that's concerning. Now, apropos of absolutely nothing, did you know that in the 1980s, Keith Haring was arrested in the New York subway numerous times for defacing public property? And here's the kicker. Are you ready? I kid you not. His tool for defacement was, white chalk on unused black advertising panels in subway stations. I bet this is not a story that current grandpappy NYPD officers tell their grandchildren. Just saying. Now, perhaps you heard me purport that history has in fact sides. Keith Haring versus the NYPD, for example. But perhaps this is not difficult to observe. Did you, plural, know, on a grander scale, that there is no widely documented historical example of, let us say, a catastrophic event solely because one sanctioned side did not adhere to the factual tellings of its own historical events? Not a one, I tell you. Now let us move on quickly, at the speed of a minecart, mind you, to the speaking of factual tellings of historical events. Now, just before this very episode, Cow and I watched a video this morning about the Happy Ghast. Cow insists that we once dined at some place called Happy Ghast Restaurant. But who's to say? History is a mutable thing. The Happy Ghast, the one floating around aimlessly in Minecraft, is not being spoken of in terms of an end update. But with it, it is Cow's belief that it becomes now quite easy to traverse the end islands on such a floating marshmallow. My question happens to be, what happens when a Happy Ghast is struck by a shulker? Does it float upwards? If so, then what? And then when it runs out, does it suddenly sink downwards? Cow and I are curious, and we have questions. Hey Cow, do you see what I see? Now, seasonally, such a query would be followed by way up in the sky, little lamb. But I imagine this does not refer to portals in the nether. Anywho, now we're here. Or perhaps more precisely, how now, brown cow? Reference to you, Cow, which is a phrase likely to have originated in Scotland in the 1700s, where brown cow was sometimes slang for a barrel of beer. And so people could order another round of beer, that is, by saying, how now, brown cow? But as things tend to do over time, it has taken the form of a playful greeting or chant, especially among children. And now the saying survives in popular culture as a humorous or lighthearted way to say hello or to ask, what's up? Sometimes when I recount random trivia, it helps distract Cow, which in turn makes it easier to drag him through a portal which he does not normally want to enter. But he is quite kind and helpful to always toss a lead back through the portal. I will say he is quite considerate. For a cow, that is. Now I am dilly-dallying because I'm afraid. Cow, I hope it's safe on the other side. Here I go. Why is it taking so long? I'm afraid. Now that gendered manly scream notwithstanding. Hey Cow, you're here. We've made it. Hurrah! And where is here, you may ask? No, I have no idea. What do my eyes see but a combination of rails and powered rails? If I may suggest to you, Cow, that we should take another minecart ride to find out. No, Cow. It is not that bad. I have brought with us your favorite bamboo raft. The one with the aforementioned Hello Kitty bumper sticker. Now, despite all his protestations, Cow does love a roller coaster. But as also aforementioned, he, meaning Cow, does tend to feel a little bit miselic, and on rare occasions he can overhave, which, if I may parenthetically add, due in part to his bone-chilling amount of bovine stomach equivalents. No one wants that. Now, I had not made space for this episode to turn in a sort of exploration-themed romp. Cow and I do have a very large and long to-do list, of which we cannot ignore much longer. If I may pull back the curtain, break through the fourth wall, and mingle with the front row for just one moment. I'm looking through some notes Cow jotted down in reference to our last spine-tickling GravityFiller episode. I will say his handwriting approximates that of a meatball holding a stilo. Now, I do see some drawings. Perhaps one is of a meatball? And next to it is a Big Dipper and a podcast and what I assume to be a Katy Perry, to whom I barely remember any exposure. And I will have you, plural, know that I'm sticking to that story. But it has come to our attention that a proposition has been thrown out there. Bathwater not included, into a live microphone. ellipsis. If that is what that is, then what is it that Katy Perry is doing? Followed by 3 meatball-sized, perhaps in the deep, thick béarnaise sauce, if you know what I mean, rounded theories. You excited? I'm excited. Number 1, said tour was supposed to be space themed, but then when that turned out to be such a flop, then they changed it really quickly to video game theme with conspicuously bare-bones sets, but with inexplicably space-themed costumes. And 2, she, that could refer to anyone, has faced such a volume of hate that something which I will not say here on this channel has been and continues to be glazed over under a shroud of girl-kissing giggles. Perhaps the eponymous she owes the record company so much money due to the floptation of her last release that said unspectacular tour is ledger correcting. Now in such a circumstance, I wonder if she will not be inclined to sell her mansion back to the nuns whom she evicted. That one. And I will add one more point. It is my understanding that at one point she sings a song, Women's World, surrounded by an oddly staged grouping of merely male dancers, raising more than just eyebrows. No. I don't know if any of that mere conjecture is true. Cow and perhaps I don't know anything, and we never have, and perhaps we never will. And we don't have anything, so don't sue us. Now, Cow has already proposed that a single copyright strike would be worth it if he and I were to reenact a panto, the aforementioned gross spectacle. Now, perhaps we can shoehorn that into a forthcoming spine-tingling episode. I will have you plural know. Hope springs eternal. That I have promised Cow on the occasion of his next birthday. Spoiler! He will be granted the pleasure of steering his favorite bamboo raft, and I perhaps will be standing a sufficient distance away in a secure location wearing another right helmet. Wink, wink. Now, speaking of strikes and gross spectacles, I believe Cow and I have found ourselves in, what is this place? An oversized field of some sort. A pitch? A court? Ground? Course? A lane? A green? A rink? A table? A lawn? No. I could go on. No, really, I could. But, as the most retentive viewers of this channel will remember, our goal was to find a village and to barter for some more golden carrots. And if there happens to be a hay bale or two, that will suffice. Hey, now look here, perhaps a closer inspection is warranted. Now, as Cow has said on numerous occasions to me, I think, now I can't remember, something about scaffolds and a will or a willing means to travel? Between you, the most retentive viewers of this channel, and I, Cow's musings all seem to mush together upon a singular grassy pitch next to 2 sticks with an abstract wooden statue of the monarch of England balanced theretwixt whilst random men throw wads of leftover wine corks at said statuary. And other random but equally smartly dressed men attempt to swat away such garish attempts to depose said royal personage. In effigy, mind you. Does that damp aisle currently have one of those? Who's to say you can't go by me? Now I will confess, admonish, leave exposed to the elements that Cow was born with a condition wherein he cannot recognize faces is called prosopagnosia, also known by your embarrassing grandpappy as face blindness. Cows with prosopagnosia have difficulty recognizing familiar faces, and in severe cases, such as that beheld by Cow, may not even recognize their own face in a mirror. Luckily Minecraft does not have mirrors. This condition can be present from birth. What is all this tat? Or result from brain injury, but definitely not brain injury inflicted by me. Prosopagnosia affects facial recognition specifically, whilst other aspects of vision and intelligence remain normal. Well, for a cow of average intelligence, mind you. Cow, suddenly I don't feel so good. Cow, are you there? Cow, will you catch me when I fall, won't you? Look here, a representation of a handsome, youthful figure of a man. Perhaps his name is Scaramouche? What? I'm afraid. Is there fandango music ringing in my ears? I'm not certain what's going on here. Well, now, baby, it's best to say our goodbyes whilst I still can. So with that being said, I'm due in part to Cow's bone-chilling separation anxiety. Sadly, it's time to say our goodbyes. Goodbye so long. Is there an echo in here? Don't say it's so.